Hi, my name is Sebastian Pavon. I'm from Gimbalabs, and I want to help you to answer this question. Where do I start as Cardano developer? The short answer is by doing things. Gimbalabs builds technical, educational, and community infrastructure for people who want to show the world what Cardano can do. We believe that people learn best by doing things. If you've been looking for an entry point into how you can participate in Cardano, we are that entry point. Because in Gimbalabs, we believe that Cardano can be a force for good that redistributes power and access to opportunity across the world in a new ways. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Make Things Fair by Gimbalabs. Enjoy it and welcome. We will do three simple things. First, we are going to create a new address and request some test data. Second, we are going to send some of those test data to another address. And finally, we are going to build a simple dApp. So let's do it. First, let's create a new address and request some test data. The basics. Number one, to generate a new address, a key pair needs to be generated first. That key pair is composed by a verification key, that B key, and a signing key, that S key. Basic number two, we are going to use a tool called Demeter.run. Basic number three, to provision your new address with test ADAs, you have to request them in a page known as Cardano Faucet. You can search that page using your browser. Okay, let's do it. First, we are gonna write this URL Demeter.run. Initially, you have to open your own profile. After that, you go here and click continue building, next, new project, next, here, next, click here and US Central, and next. After that, discover free, select this option and next. After that, select the option preprod and next, because all these exercises are based in the test in the Cardano testnet. And you have to assign a name to your project. I choose WDSI. Where do I start? And create project. Project successfully created. I open my project. After that, I look for this option, Cardano Nodes. Click, and I select this option, Starter Kits. And finally, I select the only option, but I I'm looking for this option, Cardano CLI tutorial. Create, and I have to wait a few minutes for the preparation of our workspace. Meanwhile, remember, first we have to generate this key pair composed by a verification key and a signing key. After that, we can generate our new address, and with our new address, we are going to request some test ADAs to this page called Cardano Faucet. Okay, we have to wait a few moments. It's really quick. The tool is really quick, preparing our environment for our work. It's almost done. And it's done. Click here in Open VS Code, and the tool opens a VS Code space. Yes, I trust the authors. You can close this page. And we have here in this panel our tutorial. Those are documents. Click here in the document 01. After that, you go here and select terminal, and you select new terminal to open a new terminal. Great. First, generate keys. Generate keys. You copy all this and paste that line in your terminal. If you check your files, you can see that you have two new files, my address.b key and my address.s key. Those files were generated by this line, my address.b key and my address.s key. Okay, we have the key pair. It's as easy as that. Next, we copy all this section, all this line, and paste it again. Copy again and paste it in your terminal. Enter. If you check your files again, you can see that here you have a new file called my address addr. That addr, and if you go here and copy this line and paste it again, copy, Control C, paste it, and after that you invoke that variable called my address with this dollar sign, my address. You can see the interior, the inside of the variable, and the variable contains your new address, and that address is not different from this address that I have in my Nami wallet. For example, if I want to receive some test funds, I have to use this address, and you can note this here that it starts with the ADDR test one, in the same way that this starts with this ADDR test one. Both have the same function. Okay, next. The next part is request test ADAS. We have to search that page in our browser. Okay, we go here, Cardano faucet, and here we obtain this page. We go down here, and in this section, you have to select preprod testnet. You go back to your terminal. In your terminal, you copy your address, Control C, go back to the faucet page and paste the address. Select the compromission, traffic lights, okay, no, buses, oh man, traffic lights again, crosswalks, this is funny. Stairs, okay, success. Finally, success. If I return to my terminal, and in this section, query address funds, and I copy this line, I can see and paste this line in my terminal. Sometimes it takes a few moments. Again, paste again. Okay, we have here our, these are 1000 ADAs. Each ADA is equivalent to 1 million Loblas. So those are a bunch of Loblas. But in those are the equivalent of 10,000 ADAs. So that was it. That was it. We have a new address, and this new address has 10,000 test ADAs. Okay, and next. Next, we are going to send some test ADAs to another address. Basics. First, you have to create a new address. To this new address, you will send some test ADAs from the address you created in the previous exercise. So from this address called my address, that has 10,000 ADAs, we are going to send some of those ADAs to this new address. Basic number 2. Sending test ADAs to another address is a transaction. So you have two. First, or A, we have to build the transaction. B, we have to sign the transaction. And C, we have to submit the transaction to the Cardano blockchain. Build, sign, and submit. Build, sign, and submit. Build, sign, and submit. We are going to use, again, this fantastic tool, Demeter.run. Okay, let's do it. Return to our terminal. We can close this document and open the next document, 02, build transactions. First, we have to create a new address. I can go down a little bit. Okay, I select this line and copy this line. It's the same line, the same procedure. It's the same procedure, the same initial procedure. It's the same. This line is the same. With this line, I copy, paste it, and if I check my files, I have here two new files called other address.ski and other address.bkey. This line generated those two new files. Each one contains keys, the key pair. Next, once we have this key pair, we can generate again a new address. Copy and paste in my terminal. And if I check my files, we can see that I have a new file called other address.addr. And if I copy this line and paste it in the terminal, and after that I invoke this variable other address with the $sign, I can see that I have my new other address. That is similar to the previous our previous address. Okay, after that, after we create our new address, we have to create the transaction. And the first step to create the transaction is build the transaction. Okay, build the TX, the transaction. First, I have to copy this line because I want to see what I have inside of my address called my address, my first address. This is the address in which I have my money, my test money, my 10,000 ADAs. Paste here, and as in the previous a few seconds, a few minutes ago, I can see that inside of that address I have 10,000 ADAs, a bunch of low because each ADA is equivalent to a million low, and I have 10,000 ADAs, so a bunch of low. So, and with this invocation, I obtain not only the amount, also I obtain other data. For example, I obtain this data called TS hash and this other data called TXIN. And that's important because the next step is assign those values to these variables. One by one, I copy this variable and paste it in my terminal, but I have to replace this 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 message, this placeholder, with this data called TS hash because the variable is called my TX hash. Paste and enter. Next, the variable my TXIX. Copy and again paste, but I have to replace this placeholder with this number TXIX 0, the name 0. Okay, the name 0. And enter. Next, I have to copy this. No, this is not important. This. Okay, next, this is important. This variable is important because we will use this variable called transfer amount, but I want a different number. I want to transfer to the other address 50 ADAs. 50 ADAs are equivalent to 50 million lobless. Excellent. So I already have my data in order, my variables in order. So the first step is build the transaction. I have to copy this block, copy, Control C, and this block uh, represents the structure of the transaction that I want to build for transfer money from my account to the other account. All transaction has inputs and outputs. In this case, for example, one input is my TX hash. This is this hash of my that this hash contains my money. My TXIN, this number called TXIN, this is the input of the transaction. This is the money, the vehicle that contains my 10,000 ADAs. And as an output, all the transactions have inputs and outputs. And as an output, I have the other address is the address of the other person for the person that I want to send money, the amount of money that I want to send, in this case, 50 ADAs, 50 million Lovelace in this case. And with this line, I tell to the blockchain, please refund me or send me my change to my address. And finally, this operation produces a file called transfer.raw. Okay, copy, paste, and enter. And the blockchain send me an answer. This is the fees, the estimated transaction fees that I have to pay to execute this transaction. Next, sign the transaction. Sign the transaction. I copy this. And this block, with this block of commands, I'm gonna sign the transaction, sign this document. Let's say sign the transaction. And I have here my address, that is key. This is the instrument with which I sign this file. And as a result, I obtain, after the execution of this block, I obtain this file called transfer.sign, a file signed by my ski. I copy this, paste it in my terminal, and enter. And if I check my files, I can see a new file called transfer.sign. That's the file. And finally, I have to submit the transaction to the Cardano blockchain. Submit the transaction. I simply copy this line, copy, and this line takes this file, transfer that sign, and submit it to the Cardano blockchain. I paste that line in my terminal, and that's it. Transaction successfully submitted. So if I verify the address called other address, previously empty of funds, I have to find this other address. I have to find this address, other address, with 50 ADAs. Exactly, in effect, I have 50 ADAs in this other address. That was our transaction, our basic transaction of sending a value from one address to another address. Okay, next, our final activity is, let's build a simple dApp. Steps. Step number one, we have to open a terminal in our machine. Next, we have to enter and execute this line, this instruction. Third step, we have to open our new project. Name of the project, we enter to the folder. Next, we run this command, yarn run dep. Finally, we go to our local host, and voila, we have our simple dApp. Let's do it. First, I open my terminal, WSL. I have a Windows machine, so open I have to open my Linux partition. CD. I go to the root. Okay, first open a terminal in your machine. Check. I have to copy this line. I can write instruction npx create dash match, our fantastic to match that app space and the name that I want to assign to my project. I have to put name it project tab 3. I have to wait a minute. Okay, I have this. The tool starts. What template do you want to use? The starter project. It's fine for me. What stack do you want to use? Next.js. Cool. What language do you want to use? JavaScript or TypeScript? You can choose, but I choose JavaScript. And that's it. I let the tool makes its job. Have to wait a few seconds, no more. But if it's your first time, that can take a little bit more. But don't worry, the tool makes its job. Great. Next step, we have to enter to our project. Cd name of my project or ls. My project is this project dap 3. Cd. No, sorry. Cd. Copy this. My button. Great. Next, yarn. I have to run this. Yarn run dep. Okay. Yarn run dep. Finally, I have to go to my localhost. My localhost. Copy this line. Localhost. Go here to my browser and paste localhost 3000, and that's it. This is our new basic simple dApp. It's a dApp because has a functionality. This dApp can detect the wallet in my browser, can recognize the amount of money that I have in my Nami wallet. Similar, and also has some functions. For example, documentation, guides, other page called guides, and other section called React components, and that's it. The thing is, you can take this you can take this basic dApp. You can work on top on this dApp and build something more beautiful and more diverse and more complex, with more functionalities, with more characteristics and functions. You can start with this basic. For example, I have here, this is other VS Code. This is my VS Code in my own machine. And if I go to the my project DAP3, and I go to pages, and I select this index.js. I can start to change things. For example, this title called guides. Hello, students. How are you? How are you? Okay, I can change the title React Components. Fine. Thanks. I can save here the changes. And if I go to my browser, I can see the changes. Of course, those are really nasty changes. But imagine if I can if I can do these terrible things, imagine the beautiful things that you can do in this project. You can start to add in components, colors, figures, functions, etc., etc., etc. If I can do these terrible things, you can do some constructive things. Okay, that's it. Um, okay, and now, how can you continue your journey as a Cardano developer? First, you can explore these fantastic and amazing tools. You can explore Demeter.run. You can go here and explore some functions and some other services that the tool has to the disposition of the practitioners and professionals and developers in general. You can explore the tool, starter kits. There are many things you can explore. You can explore Mesh. Mesh is other fantastic tool. You can check the documentation. We have here the starter, and you have here guides, and you can start to try and doing things, because doing things is the way to start to gaining knowledge and skills, new skills. My favorites are, I have to confess, my favorites are the number three, go to Gimbalabs.com and take the Bluetooth project based learning course, because it's free and it's really good. Gimbalabs.com, this is our page. You go to this option, Bluetooth project based learning. In here, you can read this information, or you can go directly to this option, enroll in Bluetooth PBL on Canvas, and that's it. You can go here, go to the course, and those are the modules. Here you can find the modules of the course, and you can start each step by step learning how to build your career as a Cardano developer. At the end, you will gain the skills necessary to build your own stuff and make your own things, your own projects, and participate in the projects of other persons and other colleagues and other friends. And you can go as a supporting net. You can go to our Discord, Gimbalabs Discord. We do Gimbalabs Discord, and in our Discord, this is like our office, our headquarters. We are here all the weeks, Monday to Friday, students and teachers and all the people, developers of other organizations, uh, meet here to practice to practice and resolve doubts and resolve questions and many other things. Many interactions occurs in this Discord. So go get it. And that's it. Thanks for your attention and your time.